Welcome everyone, this is Kerjims channel. Now we are back to our episodes of two semi-reality champions and comparison featured by Wild League of Legends versus the Mobile Legends by Gang. But before that, please like and subscribe to my channel and don't forget to click the bell button so you will be notified to our next episode video. Let's do this!
Zac is a slippery, melee disruptive tank who excels in the jungle or in a solo lane. As a health-based caster, Zac expends a portion of his current health to cast abilities. His kit allows him to dive headfirst into a fight and lock down priority targets while soaking up damage for his teammates. To counter Zac's health costs, let's take a look at his death-defying passive, Cell Division. Each time Zac hits an enemy with an ability, a chunk of himself flies off from his body. He can reabsorb these bloblets to regain a percentage of his maximum health. Enemy champions can also step on them to crush them. Cell Division also causes Zac to break into 4 bloblets upon death. If any of them survive by the time you recombine, he will revive with a percentage of his maximum health, depending on how much damage the bloblets have taken. Stretching Strike punches all enemies in a target direction, dealing damage and slowing everyone affected. Players looking for damage in lane or extra slow should max it first. Unstable Matter causes Zac's body to erupt, dealing damage to all nearby enemies based upon a percentage of their maximum health. This ability is on a notably low cooldown and allows Zac to constantly benefit from Cell Division while fighting. Elastic Slingshot allows Zac to launch himself to a target location after charging in the direction of your cursor. The landing impact damages and knocks enemies back a short distance. Although this can be a long-range jump, a quick cast at short range is great for spell interrupts and damage. Let's Bounce is Zac's ultimate. When activated, he hops 4 times, damaging, knocking up, and slowing enemies he lands on, while he receives an accelerating movement speed boost. Damaging a single enemy on multiple bounces has diminishing returns, and enemies can only be knocked up once. Even if he's stunned or rooted, Zac will keep bouncing. When playing Zac in the top lane, you should be careful not to overextend it with the bloblets from Cell Division. Here, Riven dashes in and punishes him for being out of position. Stretching Strike and Elastic Slingshot are great escape tools. Here, Zac slows Riven just enough to leap out of range. When starting in the jungle, Unstable Matter is Zac's greatest asset. This allows him to clear the wolves quickly, while the sustain from Cell Division prevents him from needing to use his health potions. When looking to gank from the jungle, charge Elastic Slingshot from the brush or Fog of War. Here, Zac flings himself straight onto Orianna and follows up with Stretching Strike for the slow and the kill. Cell Division is a really good baiting tool. Because Zac's abilities cost a percentage of his current health, while the bloblets heal for a percentage of his maximum health, he's able to survive by spamming his abilities. This buys enough time to give Rise the kill onto a Mumu. Elastic Slingshot's long range opens up some unique gank paths. Here are a few examples of ways you can surprise an enemy by leaping over large sections of terrain. While Cell Division is off cooldown, Zac has a little more leeway to dive past turrets and play aggressively. After a successful gank onto Misfortune, 2 of Zac's bloblets land at a safe distance, and he's able to survive a normally fatal turret dive. With all his abilities combined, Zac is incredibly persistent and almost impossible to escape from. He slows Lux with Stretching Strike, which allows him to hit Elastic Slingshot despite being rooted. He follows up with Stretching Strike and then hits Let's Bounce. The knockup and slow help his teammates catch up, and he finally takes her down despite Lux's suite of crowd control and shields. In a team fight, Zac's primary focus should be on disruption. He spots Skarner and Sinjao coming in from the side, slows him down with Stretching Strike, and then hits Let's Bounce. The knockup and slow prevents him from following up on Cassiopeia, and Zac's team takes 3 kills for nothing. Zac can also play a damage role in team fights. He charges Elastic Slingshot from out of sight. Stretching Strike into Let's Bounce takes down 2. Then he turns back for Jax. Stretching Strike and Unstable Matter take him down, and Zac gets a triple kill in a 3 versus 5. When building Zac, focus on a mix of damage and durability. try magic penetration marks, armor seals, magic resist glyphs, and ability power quintessences.
It's not how much you can lift, it's how good you look!
For masteries, try 921-0, focusing on magic penetration and offense, and general durability and defense. On screen here is an example jungling page. Flash, Smite, and Exhaust are all great choices when playing Zac. These allow him to quickly reposition and disable enemy threats.
Overall, making the most out of my kit. Now the important thing to know is if I queue on the red buff, how am I going to get through these golems? So of course, do over the wall, then auto. Very simple. Something you really need to think about when you're doing this is whenever you are dealing with multiple enemies, let's say that's an enemy champion and there's an enemy champion right here, as long as I queue him over there, I can bang them together and then maybe get away. One final thing it's a tether combined with an auto attack. And you can auto attack literally anything. Anything you can normally auto attack, you can still auto attack is whenever Zac is trying to escape. Let's pretend there is an Udyr chasing me, right? And Udyr's like about right here and I'm right here. And he's gaining on me because Udyr's a fast champion. I know that if I'm going to get away, I'm going to need to make my escape now because he can chase me down something like a Tiger or a Phoenix stance and then force me to use my E and then stun me out of it and I'm fucked. So since I have a little bit of distance, I can quickly E over the wall. I don't have to charge it up. Zac can E over just about any wall that's small or medium sized instantly without charging it. Just do a quick tap, hover your cursor, and you are now over the wall. So you watch this. Even over a thicker wall like this, I can instantly go over. Or even on a super thick wall like this, if you do it right, like you can go over. It's really difficult on that one, but you get the point. You can go over some pretty gosh darn thick walls. This is useful if you're being chased, or let's say I'm chasing the enemy and then he flashes over the wall right here. I can quickly just get back on top of him without having to charge it up and risk them getting away. In a team fight, after you've already engaged and gotten on the target you want to get, assuming your ultimate is down and you can't really use that in the fight, you need to be looking on making another good use out of your E, because your E's on a relatively low cooldown in the mid and late game. So after you're already in the fight, it's typically not best to charge it up because enemies can react to that and dodge it. It's better to get up close like this. They can see the spot and run away. So if you can, try to close the distance first with eye towards them and then instantly using the E. The E doesn't even get any added damage by charging it, so by charging it, don't feel like you're losing health on anything because you're really not. It's just a really bad misconception. It's usually better to just use it instantly like this. Very OP. And just to show you another wall it can go over. Look at that. There we go. Another one. And another one. One final thing I want to mention on the E, this isn't like a core mechanic or anything, but it's something you should know, is how far it can go. You should figure this out by going to the practice pool by yourself. I really shouldn't even be telling you this, but if the enemy is on Baron, and you know for sure, whenever the enemy is doing Baron, they always ward over here. They try to make sure this area is warded, so if they see you coming, they can stop you. But if you're over here, this is almost never warded. You can just get right here. This is Baron Pit from Red Buff, which is crazy, and now I can smite skill or something like that. Another thing, if they are doing Baron, you can E all the way from over here, which is absolutely crazy. Even safer spot and going for the skill. You can even smite while you're in mid-air, which is pretty gosh darn cool. You can use this same trick for taking Dragon, either using it from your red buff or your golems. It's the same thing. Alright, let's go over Zac's ultimate. I see this ability get misused all the flippin' time. It is a little bit difficult to understand unless you have quite a bit of practice on Zac, so hopefully I can make it a little simpler for you. The first core mechanic for Zac's ultimate is knowing when will it actually scoop the enemies. You'll know for a fact that you're going to scoop the enemies when it turns green. You see how it's green now? I know it's going to do a full scoop. But since I didn't reactivate it, it just bounced it. So for example, it's a scoop, it's green. Watch it again, like this. An important thing to know is whenever you scoop them or charge it up, it'll do a linear amount of damage. So for example, it's doing 75 even if I do it instantly. Even if I scoop them, your ultimate's going to be the same damage no matter what. If you are in a 1v1 situation and it's to the death, usually it's better to not actually charge up your ultimate because look how much damage I'm taking right there. I just took a lot of damage last time I charged my ultimate, so in a 1v1 to the death situation, it's usually better to just instantly use your ultimate like this and bounce them away. If you want to rough tip I also have on his ultimate is, whenever this bar goes to the max, it obviously turns green, or you can just watch this to turn green. There's another thing right here. You see it moves out from the center. Watch the line move out. There it is, and it's on the edge. Another thing you need to look for if you want to get better at using his ult is whenever the bar gets like 3/4 of the way, about right there, 3/4, it'll turn green even if you don't wait for it. For example, it won't show green, but whenever I do the scoop, it'll scoop them. So watch this. I let go and still took them with me. It's all about timing. Definitely want to practice that. So pretty much 3/4 of the way and it will scoop them. But if you are new, just try to let it go all the way and then use it. Definitely gonna need to practice that. As a rule of thumb, unless they're CC'd, don't use your ultimate, otherwise they won't block out your ulti. Even there I messed it up because I was trying to do it really quick. So E, let it turn green and then jump them away. Very simple. Otherwise, if they are not CC'd in any way, they can just walk out of your ultimate and then there's nothing you can get out of it. Another example I have for you is whether you use your ultimate instantly or let it charge for a bit, it'll push them out a linear amount of distance. So for example, I tap it and push them all away from me equally, like an Alistar headbutt. Doesn't matter how long I charge it for, it'll push them away the same amount. I'll show you what I mean. To show you guys that Zach's ultimate does indeed push them away a linear amount regardless of the charge, I'm going to place the dummy right in the center of this diamond, use my ultimate, place another one there, use my ultimate, puts in the same exact spot. Now let's try charging my ultimate for a moment. Check this out, I charged it, same exact spot. It doesn't matter how long I charge it, it'll put him in the same spot. There we go. You should know this for when you're being chased or if you're trying to make them go way farther. It's better to just use your ultimate instantly like this and just push them all away. The 7th and final core mechanic for Zach that you should know if you want to get good at him and become pro is ultimate E. If you're trying to burst somebody down, take them out of the fight really quickly, if they're already on top of you or you're killing, this is a great option that I see very few people use because I don't think they know about it or they're too unskilled to use it properly. You're definitely going to want to practice this before you use it in a ranked game, and it's simply taking advantage of instant cast on your ultimate, not charging it at all, still does a full amount of damage, and then immediately using your E and catching them out of the air. It's a really good CC chain of a whole lot of burst. So check this out. So let's say these guys are chasing me down, or let's say I'm chasing them, I'm on top of them. I'm gonna just use my ultimate and then immediately E them in mid-air. So watch this, ulti, just knock them all up. Let's get this dummy out of the picture because he's kind of in the way. He's making it distracting. So I'll show you what I mean again. Let's pretend they're all low on HP. I'm low on HP, they're on me. All of a sudden, I use my ultimate and then I E. I just hit them all instantly. I CC'd all 3 of them. You might not think much of core mechanic number 7, but as you get better at Zach and you find yourselves in closer situations, it'll be very useful and you'll be using it a lot, trust me. It's honestly one of my favorite tricks on Zach. It's not many people know about it or use it. It's really good whenever you're trying to finish off the target quickly, burst them down. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed these 7 core mechanics for dummies and Zach. If you guys enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me a lot.